The Bronx was literally going up in flames in the 1970s. Buildings were being set on fire while the residents of the borough of New York dealt with unemployment, poverty, drug abuse, and violence. Kevin Donovan was a teenager in the Bronx in the 1970s, and he found himself as a warlord of a gang known as the Black Spades.
In 1974, he entered an essay competition through UNICEF. The prize was a trip to India, and his essay was selected as the winner. However, he blew off a meeting and opted to put up flyers for a party he was organizing instead. So he waited a year, entered the next essay contest, and he won a trip to Africa. He traveled the Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau, and also spent a week in Europe. The experience changed his worldview and caused him to reconsider his actions and environment. He returned to the Bronx and began using his talents to have a more positive influence in his community instead of continuing that cycle of violence. He adopted Africa Bambaataa as his new name, and he founded the Universal Zulu Nation.
Party people, can yo get funky? Suicide and folks, can yo get funky?
Every day, many of our children are surrounded by an environment that encourages destruction. Drugs, violence, poverty, and prisons are part of a narrative that is far too common. The question becomes, how do we expand a child's worldview from the 10 blocks they see walking to school every day? It starts with exposure. Exposure to the greater community. Exposure to the new. Exposure to the global community. You want to know how to change a community? Even more, how to change the world? Start with the child's mind. Live, learn, exchange.